Good afternoon, it's Pastor Tom. Welcome to the last day of April. It's hard to believe that with all that's gone on in the world, in our community, that we have reached this. We're here at the end of April. So hope you're having a really good day. Hope you've done some fun things. The weather outside is really nice, and I always look forward to having this time with you all, just to share what's going on in the life of our church, just to keep you up to date on what's going on and how God is continuing to bless us. A few things I want to share with you this afternoon. The first thing is to remind you that this coming Sunday is Communion Sunday. So I'm going to encourage you to have your bread, your flour tortillas, whatever you use, whatever you want to use, with you as we celebrate communion for the second time, even though we're physically apart on Sunday. As well as your wine, your juice, your water, whatever you're going to use. So that's this Sunday. Be sure to have all those things with you. Hopefully, you've also begun to make use of making your own altar area in your homes during this time that we're separated. Hope that will be helpful for you as well. The other thing I want to share with you is that on the following Sunday, which is Mother's Day Sunday, May the 10th, we are going to have a Freedom's Fellowship on Zoom, and it will last from 10:30 that morning until 11:15, from 10:30 a.m. to 11:15. So we'll still have normal worship at 9, and then we'll finish. You will do what you need to do, and then join us back at 10:30 for a time of just fellowship, to reconnect with each other, to see each other face to face, sort of, kind of, for the first time in a while. So I hope that you'll put that on your calendars, and I'll mention it again on Sunday morning when we gather for worship. There are two other things I want to mention to you. On occasion, I put some articles up on the website, and I put two new articles up there this week that I think you might be interested in. One of them is entitled "We Have an Inadequate Theology of Illness," and it's written by a student who's a PhD student at the University of Maryland, and it talks about how inadequate our theology is when it comes to illness or stress. And I've read it. It's a really interesting article, so I share that with you. The other article that I posted for your consideration up on the website is entitled "The Sacrament of Not Touching: A Gift of Grace Made Literally a Matter of Life and Death." And this article was written by one of my former professors at Southern Seminary, and also a Boston University alum, and a very, very dear friend of mine, Bill Leonard. And if you read the article, as I read the article, it reminded me of us. There are certain things rituals that happen in the life of his congregation that he is missing, and he shares that in this article. So there's two articles up there for you to read, and would love to have feedback on them, and just to tell me what you think of them. The other thing I want to share with you is that we are still working on options to accommodate those of our church family who don't have access to Facebook Live or YouTube, and looking at a way that they can at least use their phones and dial in and listen to the worship service. So we're looking at some options that will make you being able to join us by worship in some way, shape, or form if you can't get it live or on YouTube, or on YouTube Live, on Facebook Live, or YouTube. So keep being on the lookout for that. We've even talked about the possibility of putting together some packets that would include the order of worship for that Sunday, and then a copy of the sermon. So again, we're trying our best to include all of our church family as we gather to worship. Final thing I want to share with you, this afternoon I was in a conference with some other faith leaders for an event that was hosted by Auburn Seminary, which is located in New York. And there were several things as we got together in the chat room afterwards. We were asked by the facilitators to share three things in this time of crisis. What is your real joy? What are the things that you are holding in your heart? Those things that are important to you. And as we get ready eventually to transition into a new normal, what will life be like in our in our homes, in our community, in our church? What are you willing to risk to make the world better, to make it a better place for God's creation? So I want to share those questions with you as they were shared with us. Your real joy. What are you holding in your heart? What is your passion? What are the things that weigh that you think about a lot in this time of being in quarantine? And then finally, what are you willing to risk for our community, for the kingdom of God, to make the world a better place after this crisis? And the last thing I would share with you as I leave you is this is the motto for Auburn Seminary: trouble the waters, heal the world. Yes, those of us who are called to be Christians, we are called to sometimes disturb and trouble the waters. There's an old Negro spiritual that talks about troubling the waters, and we use it in the context of baptism, that the God's Spirit would move the waters. But as we trouble the waters, we need to heal the world. I hope that you have a great rest of the day and have a wonderful weekend. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning in worship. Again, Communion Sunday, bring your bread, bring your tortillas, bring your wine, bring your juice, bring your water, but bring your spirit as we worship God together. Blessings.